If you're moving from the US to Portugal, there are a few things you really don't want to forget.
Because once you land, some of those things are hard to find, way more expensive, and just not the same.
And most of the time, people don't realize this until it's too late.
When we moved to Portugal, we thought we prepared and packed really well.
Yeah, we didn't.
Well, we did bring some really helpful things, but we didn't do so great on others. After we got here, we had a few issues and we learned a few lessons.
This isn't about overpacking. It's about bringing the right things to make your transition smoother, cheaper, and honestly, less frustrating.
If you're new to our channel, we're Michael and Cheryl, two musicians who moved to Portugal almost 5 years ago. For us, moving from the US to Portugal, it's been an incredible journey. But the packing process, that was a learning curve. Today, we're sharing the top 10 things you actually need to consider bringing from the States to make your transition smoother, save you money, and keep you from feeling a little homesick.
I'm already homesick.
And definitely watch till the end, because number 10 is one that I never see listed on any social media groups. But it's something you'll probably use almost every day.
So let's dive in.
When you move to Portugal, you're going to want to keep your US phone number. You'll need it for two-factor authentication to verify your identity when you're trying to get online to access your financial institutions or various online businesses or the IRS or the Social Security website, all of these kinds of things. And you'll also want your US number so you can call people back home.
But you'll obviously also need a Portuguese phone number when you get here for all your needs that are here. And for that, you don't need two phones, you just need a phone with dual SIM capabilities, and each SIM allows you to have one phone number connected to it.
Before you move to Portugal, it's good to buy an updated cell phone because phones are more expensive here.
Yeah.
When you do, just make sure your new phone can accommodate two SIMs.
Well, step 2 is that you need to make sure to set your US number up with a service that's going to allow you to use it internationally. I didn't do this before I left the US, and it took me weeks to get that problem solved. It was a headache.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do once you leave the US. But you can set up with a service like Tello, which is what I now use. You just port or move your number to this service, and it will use one of the two SIMs that you have in your phone. You just make sure you set your service up before you leave, though, for Portugal. That's the important thing. We've included a link to Tello in the description below this video if you want to check that out.
Then when you get to Portugal, that's when you'll go to a phone store and set up your Portuguese number. We used Vodafone, which is a really big company in Europe, for that. The salesperson will assign the other SIM in your phone and give you your new number.
People say you can find anything in Portugal, but for someone like me, finding clothes and shoes here is next to impossible.
You're too tall.
If you have big feet like I do, or long legs, or you wear a larger size of anything, you're not going to find much at all. You might find a random pair of shoes at an outlet mall here or something, but you can't count on anything. So remember that the clothes you bring with you are going to be pretty much what you have to wear for a while, unless you plan to try to order online or go back to your country where you can
Stock up.
stock up, yeah.
Also, if you have a special or not typical piece of clothing or anything high quality, think twice about getting rid of it. If it fits your style, you might regret not bringing it. I actually have some regrets for clothes that I decided not to bring. And styles and colors are different here, and stores might not offer what you like. And in general, and this goes for the US too, fast fashion is taking over, and most clothes just aren't as well made now as they were in the past.
So if you like to show your style with what you wear, like if you're a musician like us, bring the cool accessories or jackets or whatever that you have collected over the years.
I mean, sure, you can find things here, and there are a few vintage stores, but nothing's going to be quite as unique as that amazing shirt that you picked up in a vintage store in Austin or Seattle 10 or 15 years ago.
And as far as shoes go, invest in some sturdy shoes that are really comfortable because the cobblestones will wear your soles down and they're going to tire your feet out too.
Yeah, you don't even know it until you get here and you have to experience it. And I'm going to add to that, bring some warm layers like thermal shirts and thick socks, because in the wintertime, those are gold for you. The houses in Portugal can get really cold.
And even if you don't care much about clothes, the size issue is pretty important, so just keep that in mind as you pack. If If you're the kind of person who takes vitamins or supplements, those are definitely things you might want to bring from the US.
I remember looking in stores in Porto for a vitamin K2, not K1. You can find that for pretty cheap. K2 is good for your bones, among other things. And I found this vitamin in one health food store, and it was $42 for a 30-day supply. Meanwhile, I can get a 365-day supply, a year supply for $20 from the United States.
And in the US, you can get large quantity bottles of all kinds of vitamins, which could last you a year or most of a year for a fraction of what you would pay here in Portugal. So that Costco run before you leave could save you a ton of money and the headache of trying to locate what you need in a new country.
Yeah, and another thing that you can get at Costco or someplace like that are those huge bottles of ibuprofen and allergy medicines from the US. They're also helpful. In Portugal, doctors mostly prescribe paracetamol, which is another name for Tylenol, and it comes in little small blister packets. And you don't get a lot of quantity for the cost comparatively.
And that's your pain meds.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Oh, pain, pain, pain.
And don't you always stock up on cold medicine in the US?
Yes. If you like NyQuil or Alka-Seltzer type cold meds, or if you use Tums, you just can't get those in Portugal. And cold medicine and allergy medicine for kids is not a thing here. And unless you like plain menthol halls, you won't find any sinus clearing lozenges here. So I always bring back a big bag of my favorite sugar-free cherry halls when I visit the US.
And if you're into collagen powder or anything like that, the prices are more than twice as high in Portugal as in the US. So if you have room in one of your bags, you might want to bring that as well.
Yeah, I can get a big carton of it, and it's like a year's supply for like $20 at Costco. So
I mean, if you're a workout warrior like me, of course.
When Americans move abroad and post online or talk about what foods they miss the most, the number one missed cuisine is Mexican food. I see it everywhere. And that's a type of food that I really love to cook, too.
And I love to eat it.
But if you want to cook Mexican food in Portugal, that can definitely be challenging. Or Cajun food, or Creole, or even a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. Because while Portugal has an array of spices and herbs available, some that we use to make these foods are not readily available, or they're very hard to find. You can mail order chili powder, for example, but it's going to come in a very small package for a high price, and it's just not going to be New Mexico chili powder or something like that you would use for Mexican food, for example.
Portuguese food is usually pretty mild, with the main exception being that you can get a little heat from the piri-piri chili that they grow here. So if you like spicy foods, you might want to bring some of that stuff. Even a bottle or two of your favorite hot sauce could be really important.
A few seasonings that I recommend you bring are your favorite chili powder, of course, chipotle, dill, sage, and any spice blend you like. Like Creole seasoning, we use that, Cajun seasoning, Old Bay, Montreal steak. We use this huge thing of everything but the bagel seasoning. And you might even want to pick up some serrano or jalapeno chili seeds if you want to grow your own chilies. You might want a couple of packages of ranch dressing if you like ranch, Frank's Red Hot sauce if you like buffalo wings, and also some vanilla extract. So stock up on your favorite spices so you can make some decent tacos or enchiladas or jambalaya when you get here and when you're nostalgic for food from back home.
And then invite us over for dinner.
Yeah. If you have any questions about whether a spice or a food is available here in Portugal, just leave a note in the comments section below and I will try to answer it for you. And speaking of the kitchen, if you want to follow recipes from back home, be sure to pack a measuring cup with American-style imperial measurements, using cup increments instead of liters, as well as measuring spoons. Get a measuring cup that the markings won't fade off of when you put it in the dishwasher, because I made that mistake and I had to have a friend bring me another one. Even if you do find a measuring cup with cup markings in Portugal, it's probably going to be British cups, so it won't be the same as US markings.
Also, if you have a quality set of kitchen knives or a cast iron pan and you have the room to bring them, those are probably better than you can get easily here.
Yeah, and the small handheld kitchen tools are generally going to be better from the US, like a can opener, a peeler, a handheld cheese or nutmeg grater. And pie is not a thing here, so if you like to bake pies, you're going to need to bring a pie plate or two. Also, a really valuable tool is a meat thermometer that shows both Fahrenheit and Celsius readings. We use ours all the time. This is what ours looks like. And I've linked some of my favorite kitchen tools in the description field below this video if you want to check them out.
Yeah, we've mentioned before, but electronics in general cost a lot more in Portugal than they do in the US. And this seems to be true in most European countries. So when you start planning your move, it's best to update all your electronics in advance.
Yeah, think computers with plenty of memory, extra sets of earbuds, power banks, external backup hard drives, adapters. If you use a fitness tracker or if you just want to start tracking all the steps you're going to get when you get to Europe, that's also a good thing to get in advance. Of course, you can get all of these things in Portugal, but again, they're going to be more expensive and the options will be more limited.
Portugal runs on different electrical current than the US. It runs at 230 volts with a frequency of 50 hertz, while the US runs at 120 volts with a frequency of 60 hertz. So now the good news is that your phones, your computers, your tablets, they all work fine here. But you just need either a new EU power cord or even easier, adapter plugs so that you can use your old power cord. Now we bought multi-packs of these plugs right here before we left, and they have served us very well over here. You just plug in your, works great.
Yeah. As far as bringing high-cost items over goes, you have two options to prevent a possible customs fee on entry. First, you can get a special baggage certificate from Portugal called a Certificado de Bagagem, which you can use for up to 1 year after you move to Portugal. You can use it on an entire shipment of your stuff, which is what we did. You can ship in a shipping container, or you could send just a pallet of boxes.
For us, with a grand piano, musical instruments, and recording studio gear, a shipping container was well worth it. And I brought gear that I knew I could switch over to European power. Some of it I had to buy a step-up converter. Some of it you have to change the fuses in the back. But I did a lot of research on our gear before we left to see what would and would not work.
We also brought our beds, our sentimental Christmas decorations, our favorite books and records, artwork, and some kitchen stuff. And at the time, some toys and games for our daughter, so she would feel at home. Of course, that stuff is all optional, but for us it was important since we were already using a shipping container anyway.
Yeah.
And just to note, bookstores here have very limited ranges of English language books, if any, if that's your thing.
That's your thing, right?
Now the other option is you don't have to use a container or a pallet at all if you don't want to. You can bring all your stuff on the plane with you. Many people do that. And there are some great large packing bags that you can use for this for the cost of adding another suitcase. So you can use the baggage certificate in this case too. What is it called?
It's called the Certificado de Bagagem.
Yeah, so you can avoid any issues at customs.
Yeah, issues can come up if you buy something higher priced, like a laptop or a phone, within 6 months of your move. The customs agents will want to see a receipt showing that you bought it at least 6 months before. Now, not everyone gets stopped by customs, but if you do, you're either going to be able to want to show your receipts or your baggage certificate.
And definitely come to the Porto airport.
Yeah, because they're way cooler than Lisbon, we're just saying.
So we're going to Porto.
And a few final notes regarding electronics. Don't try to bring items that generate a lot of heat, like hair dryers. Just buy those here. You can bring favorite lamps, though. They can easily be rewired for Portugal. We didn't know that, and we gave away a few of our vintage lamps. But if you are bringing a shipment and you are bringing electronic items, like if you have a recording studio like us, you should pick up a couple of step-up converters. These will regulate the electrical change so that your electronic items work well and they won't get damaged. We're going to link some of the items we suggest here in the description field so that you can see if they might be helpful to you. If you have any questions about electronics here, let us know in the comments section and I'll try to answer.
So some people are minimalists and they feel very little need to have connection with the decor that surrounds them in their home. As long as it looks nice, they're happy. And they're fine with just packing a few suitcases with some clothes and starting fresh and leaving all their memorabilia behind.
Kind of like the minimalist look anyway, so.
But not everyone is a minimalist. And if you're not, and you try getting rid of everything, you could end up with a lot of regrets.
Yeah, even if you pare down to a small amount of stuff to bring to Portugal, you may want to consider bringing some things that you identify with as home. They could be photos of your family, favorite artwork, rugs or decorations, or as we said, your favorite special Christmas decorations.
So if you are packing a shipping container or even a pallet, you can bring favorite furniture or accent furniture. Most apartments here are furnished from IKEA, even down to their small decorations, so that might be fine for you, or it might be too generic.
After a while, it looks pretty generic when you see it all over Portugal. And so it's either IKEA stuff or heavy dark wood pieces that you're going to get in your home. There's a lot of particle board. There's a lot of glossy white laminate furniture. But if you have a pretty healthy budget, there are some great custom furniture makers in northern Portugal. But not everyone wants to or can spend that kind of money to get custom furniture made. So consider these things when you consider what your options are as far as what you're going to bring.
Just don't bring a giant sofa because it probably won't even fit inside the door here, especially not the elevator.
That's for sure. The elevators are like maybe 2 people could fit.
Oh my gosh! I cannot believe it!
If space is really limited, you can take your artwork out of the frames and have it reframed in Portugal.
Yeah.
But if not, bring it as it is and save yourself the trouble and expense of finding a framer and choosing the right new frames.
And if you do the math, you might find that it's less expensive to ship some of the household stuff rather than to buy all new items when you get here.
Yeah, it can cost a lot to buy all the things you need just for a kitchen alone. And there's nothing wrong with bringing the art or mementos that make you feel like you're at home in your new country. Yeah. When you move abroad, you don't erase the past and all the experiences you had. You're just getting ready to add to them. So this one's for the ladies, but it might also be for the guys. Portugal loves scented products, and I mean highly scented. It's really hard to find a lotion or a cream or a soap or a candle or anything that isn't heavily scented.
What does that smell? Do you smell that?
Yeah, they even sell bottles of scent to add to your laundry when you wash clothes here, and everyone uses it.
It's so different. It's cool. It's just, I can't tell you how many times I bought something like a face cream or a body wash, only to have to throw it away because the scent was so strong that it made me sneeze and maybe it even irritated my skin. So I just suggest that you pack a decent supply of your favorite skincare products, at least until you can figure out new sources here in Portugal. And ladies, I also suggest you have backups of all your makeup and regular facial care. For one thing, as you can see, I'm pretty pale, and the colors here that I can find don't usually match my skin. For another thing, the cost here for the same item, if you could even find it, can be a lot higher. So save yourself a headache, and at least at the beginning, bring a backup supply of whatever you use. Just a pro tip, when you do get here, you can always order from iHerb to get vitamins or supplements or things like Korean skincare. You will have to pay a customs fee, but it will be put into the cost of your total before you buy it, so you will not be surprised.
And those makeup tips go for the men too.
I need makeup, man. Bring me the makeup.
So when we moved to Portugal, I didn't realize that I could bring my battery-powered tools. So I had a lot of great tools that I basically gave away.
Yeah.
Some of the hand tools I could have brought, and I would definitely be using them now. You can get tools in Portugal. Ones that are good quality, like DeWalt, are going to cost about twice as much in Portugal, though, as in the US. Something to think about.
Yeah. In fact, I was just reading on a social media group about a guy who went back to the US and bought a DeWalt toolkit and drill kit and put it in his suitcase. So he was still within the baggage limit because he said it was way too expensive in Portugal. So for him, it was worth the trouble.
Yeah, so if you're handy at all, or you think you'll be hanging pictures, or you're going to be doing renovations, and you have room, bring your battery-powered tools.
Also, bring a couple of your favorite paintbrushes if you plan to paint any rooms. They just don't have the great little wedge brushes that work the best for cutting in. And the quality of the paintbrushes, at least the ones that we found here, pales in comparison with the ones that you get stateside. Finally, and this is the one that I feel like a lot of people miss when they move abroad, a really valuable thing you can bring is an Amazon Fire Stick. It looks like this in the box. If you're not familiar, it's a little gadget that you can plug into an HDMI port in the back of your TV. It looks like this. And you load all your favorite streaming apps on it, like Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Disney, ESPN, whatever.
Now, of course, there are smart TVs here where you can also use all of those apps. But the issue is that when you are in Portugal, only shows, movies, games, and concerts that are available in Portugal will be available to you. So if something comes out in the US and you really want to watch it, you may not be able to, at least maybe for a while, or unless it becomes available in Portugal.
But when you use a Fire Stick, you can add a VPN, or a virtual private network. VPNs have a lot of value no matter where you are. They can protect your privacy on your phone or on any device on your laptop so no one can hack in and steal your data. They can also be used to make it seem like you're in a different location.
So you buy a subscription to a VPN, you download it to your Fire Stick, and you can also use it on your phone, and then you set the location to someplace in the United States. Then when you open Netflix or another app, you'll see all the shows and movies that are available in the US. You could also set it to another country and find what shows are available in that country as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
So the combination of a Fire Stick and a VPN can definitely make you feel more at home in your new place. And they're really easy to use. Our favorite VPN is Surfshark, and we've tried a few since moving to Portugal. We find Surfshark to be the most reliable.
Again, check out the description field to find links for these things in case you don't already have them. Our Surfshark link can get you 3 free months when you sign up.
So these are just a few of the things we recommend you consider bringing with you, whether you're moving to Portugal or another country. Of course, you might not need all of these things, but this list might help keep you from missing something you needed or you wanted, and it might keep you from having any regrets.
No regrets!
And moving abroad is one of the biggest, most consequential shifts you can make in your life. You're putting an ocean between you and everything that you're familiar with. So when you make the leap, it never hurts to have a few things along to make that transition smoother.
If you're considering a move, we're already excited for you.
Yeah.
Again, leave a note in the comments if you have any questions or if you have anything to add to our suggestions.
And thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.